So Sean Gaithright, one of the men accused of killing rapper Julio Fulio, is at his sentencing hearing, and he is trying to determine if his fate is going to be life in prison without parole or if he will be given the death penalty by the state of Florida. And it sounds like, from everything that I've heard, we're going to hear one of the prosecution attorneys talk about the privilege this kid had, and you could just see it, him thinking about it, like, wow, I did have it pretty good. But let's take a look at it.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
And so you went to this preparatory school, and whether you got in there through a lottery or not, you would agree with me, not everybody gets to go to a school like that, correct?
The lottery school, the magnet school I went to was in middle school when I was living in Jacksonville. The school I went to in Oxford, it was just a public high school.
A public high school.
Yes,
okay, my mistake. So you went to that preparatory school in Jacksonville.
Yes, sir.
But again, that school.
This guy is going to be needing to be a tough guy in prison. If he's not on death row and he goes into general population, let's be honest, a pretty boy like this, brushing his hair with the waves and all that for life, and he's Mr. Preparatory School.
Was not something that every kid gets to go to, right?
No, sir.
Not every kid gets to have a counselor and a role model like Mr. Edwards, correct?
No, sir. I was very blessed.
And not many children get to fly in planes with their stepfather, correct?
No, sir.
And fly around in Asia and get to see islands off the coast of Okinawa, correct?
No, sir. I was
And go on
very
camp-
blessed.
You are very blessed, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And not every kid gets to go to Scotland, right?
No, sir.
Or Ireland,
No, sir.
or Paris,
No, sir.
or London,
No, sir.
or Spain.
No, sir.
Wow, this kid is world traveled at 20 years old. He's been to Scotland, Okinawa, Spain, London, on and on and on. And somehow he ends up in Jacksonville, engulfed in a full-blown beef with some hood guys. And now he's trying to determine if he's going to get life in prison or if he's going to be given the death penalty. This is why it matters what kind of music you listen to. This is why it matters what kind of substance you're putting into your body. This is why it matters what kind of people you surround yourself with. It matters because you can start off privileged and end up imprisoned.
Cape Town or Johannesburg, or both in South Africa?
Cape Town.
Cape Town, beautiful city, right?
Yep.
You got to go experience that when you were growing up, correct?
I did.
Because you had such loving people around you supporting you, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, your grandmother went with you on that trip, did she not? Or not on that one, but on the ones to
Several
Europe,
trips.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And we heard you got to meet up with your sister in one of those trips, correct?
I did. I had the privilege.
So you always had someone there taking care of you, and you always had good, strong male role models, including people at your grandmother's church and your stepfather, Mr. Harrington, correct?
I had male role models in my life growing up, but in my more formative years, more so 16 to 18, I didn't. I did not have a relationship with my father, and the male role models that came and testified, they were present but not intimately as whenever I.
Such a sad situation all around. I mean, you have Julio Fulio lost his life, and I'm not making any excuses for him. If you look at his videos, if you see the content of what he was talking about and how he was living, he seemed like he was about that life, if you know what I mean. This young man somehow became about that life, but he wasn't from that life based on what I'm hearing right now. And you see this young man, well put together, 20 years old, and won't step foot out of the Georgia or Florida State Prison. That's just so sad.
I was younger, maybe middle school years, but when I turned around 16 to 18, it was the females that actually had that caregiving and nurturing relationship with me. But
Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate it.
yes,
So,
sir. Towards the more recent years, I didn't have that one-on-one and very close relationship with those male role models in my life. You heard my stepfather say after the divorce.
I did hear that, Mr. Chance. Let me stop you,
Mr.
okay, and
Gathright.
we'll go back to my question. I'm sorry?
Mr. Gathright.
I'm sorry. I keep calling you that, Mr. Gathright. Let me go back to
Mr. Gathright, Mr. Chance, unfortunately, when he goes to prison, he's going to be given a number, a prison number, and that's going to be his identification and who he identifies as. And no one's going to call him Mr. Gathright in jail.
What you said earlier, between 16 and 18, you didn't have a male role model? Is that what you're telling the jury?
I'm not saying I didn't have any male role models, but day to day, young men need strong.
That's not what I asked. I asked if you had a male role model between 16 and 18.
I had a figure that I could go to, but not intimately.
Mr. Edwards, right?
Yes, sir.
He had stayed in contact with you even when you graduated into high school, correct?
Yes, sir. We definitely maintained a relationship, but
And he seemed to be pretty enthusiastic about that, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. You went on a cruise with him at some point, did you not?
Yeah, when I was younger, yes. We had a very close relationship.
And then from what you're saying, if I understand it right, the females, I'm assuming you're talking about your grandmothers and your mom stepped into the gap?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was grandmother's, mother's, sister.
So let me see if I got this right. When you were being brought up, and you were being brought up by a mother who was enlisted or an officer in the military, an officer, wasn't she?
I don't know exactly what her rank is. I know she was a sergeant.
But in the Marine Corps?
Yes, sir. She was in the Marine Corps.
All right. And then you had a stepfather who was in the Air Force, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
From the time you were 3 all the way up to when they divorced in 2020?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So you're talking about a young man who's grown up around privilege, who's grown up around discipline because he has a stepdad that was in the military, a mom who was in the military. So they've had the opportunity, they've moved around, they've gotten a chance to see different things, him and his sister, who testified earlier. I mean, it's just a complete spiral into, it's just unfortunate. You're spiraling from a life that you could have, by default had an upper middle class life and experienced cool things by default. And somehow you found yourself again getting in the mud, wrestling in the trenches, and determining that you were going to be about that life. Even at a young age when you were, you did this crime at, I guess it was 18. So, and now you're 20, you're being sentenced to at bare minimum life, or you're going to be given the death penalty. And the reality is your brain hasn't even fully developed. As a young man, your brain doesn't fully develop until between 24 and 26 years old. You're 20, you're sitting here intelligent as he is. His brain isn't even fully developed, and that'll happen during his prison stay. I hope young men out there, old men, young women, I hope if you're seeing this, take advantage of the opportunities that you have before you. Be aware of who you're surrounding yourself with. Be aware of what you're consuming. And, don't make the same mistake like this young man. It's just, it's sad.
They taught you right from wrong, correct?
Yes, sir.
Austin Atmosphere but kind of put it perfectly. He does have a point.